Hello, welcome to Christina's Knitting Catch-Up episode 37. Today is Saturday, the 2nd of July 2016, and I'm coming to you from my home in Canberra, although I am recording upstairs today because it's the afternoon now and the light has gone to this side of the house, so that's why I'm recording up here, just because of the light. It's not the best light even now, but it's better than the light downstairs. So for those playing along at home, today is election day here in Canberra, well, here in Australia actually. We're voting on what the government will be, and it's currently the Liberals, which is not the same as the Liberals in other countries. The Liberals here are actually more right-wing than the other lot. So it's basically between Liberal and Labor here. And currently we've got the Liberals in power and we are voting to see what will happen. And there's also the third party, which is the Greens, which is what it sounds like. So yeah, so I had to vote today. We walked up to the primary school and exercised our democratic right, and I saw at least 3 old ladies that I knew. So that was very nice, actually. We had a sausage sizzle, which is kind of traditional to have a sausage sizzle at the primary school on election day. So that was lovely, and who knows, maybe we'll have a different government by the end of the day. We've gone through a lot in the past few years. It's been quite shocking. So it'd be nice to have some stability. But anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm moving to Norway, so they can do what they like. So anyway, I've recently held a knit along, and it was our neck to knees knit along, and that was for shawls and socks, and because that's what I wanted to knit, and so I thought, what if everybody does it too? And that ran from 29th of May to 29th of June, and people put in works in progress and things, and I knit a few things. Firstly, I knit these socks for my husband out of my own hand-dyed yarn. They're a bit pilly now, he's been wearing them a lot. One interesting thing about these socks, so it's just with 4-ply yarn, and by 4-ply I mean sock yarn. But I don't know if you can even tell, but I did a 1x1 twisted rib and then a 3x1 twisted rib. And it's kind of curling at the top, and I've never had that before, and I suspect it's because it's a 3x1 rib. And you know how stockingette stitch wants to curl towards the front because it's curling away from where there's the purl bumps. And I think that's what's happening here, because there's more stocking stitch or more knit stitches than purl stitches. I think it wants to curl away. So that's interesting. He still wears them. It doesn't make much of a difference. He wears them under pants, so you can't even really see. But yeah, this is my hand-dyed yarn. There. So that was the first thing I knit. The second thing I knit was a shawl for my friend. Well, it wasn't for my friend at the time. I mean, she was my friend at the time. I knit a shawl. I knit the, what was it called? Twin leaf crescent shawl. And I knit it out of black trillium fibres, lilt sock in a gradient set called Flutter. And I showed you this last time, but it was a gradient shawl, essentially in a crescent shape. And I ended up giving it to my friend as a kind of engagement present, and she was really thrilled with that, so that was lovely. And I also knit another shawl from scratch. I'll just lean over and get it. Here it is. And this I have entirely started and finished since I saw you last, because it was an easy pattern. And this is Heaven and Space by Martina Bem. She is the most popular designer, isn't she? She's amazing. And it's just knits and purls. You see that? So you get this kind of interesting pattern with knits and purls. And this is knit with Knit Picks Paragon yarn, which is alpaca, merino and silk. And it's not superwash merino, it's plain merino. And this I made for a friend of mine who's very ill at the moment. She is suffering very badly from allergies to everything. Everything. So I had to wash this after I knit it, and I didn't want to dye it in case she had a reaction. I'm going to wash it again because it's been in my house and near perfumes and things, so I'm going to wash it again for her. But yeah, it turned out really big. I used 2 skeins of the Paragon yarn, and it's actually a asymmetrical pattern. It's knit from the side, so she'd be able to wrap that around a couple of times. I really hope that the wool or alpaca doesn't make her react. I know she's not allergic to silk, but I don't know about the others. And yes, she is allergic to everything. So if you're thinking, I wonder if she's allergic to this, she is. She is. And she's allergic to that medicine as well. And no, she can't have it intravenously. She's allergic to that too. She's very sick. So anyway, I knit that for her. I hope she likes that. I'll have to get around to her house and give it to her one day. I have to do a bit of preparation before I ever go to her house because I can't have washed with soap or have deodorant or anything. So I have to do a little bit of preparation before I go. So you can see here I'm folded in half. It's not symmetrical, so I hope she likes that. That's the second shawl I made for my knit along. And the third shawl I made for my knit along, well, this was actually a shawl I had already made, and then I made it bigger. So you might remember it from a while ago. This is my Chosen Path shawl. I can't remember who it's by. Chrissy Prange or something. She has the same name as me, sort of. So when I last showed this to you, it was this big. So it stopped here, which was, pretty long, but it wasn't wide enough for me, so it finished here. It's hard to show, but it finished 2 sections before it finishes now. So I knit these last 2 stripes. You can see I need to block this. I knitted the plain and the lace, and that used a little bit over 50 grams. So that means that this shawl is about 150 grams. So yeah, and now when I wear it, it doesn't fall off. So I like to wear my shawls like this, bandana style. And now it's big enough that, sorry, the screen makes me adjust things weird. So now when I wear it, it doesn't fall off. And sometimes, so here's the ends. Sometimes I tie them up in a little bow so it doubly doesn't fall off. Whereas before, I was putting it on just like this and eventually it would just fall off, pulled by its own weight. And I finished this on my birthday, on the 29th. I have literally been wearing it non-stop. I love it. I steam blocked it, so just with an iron on the ground, and it's already curling again. So I'm going to have to actually wet block it and pin it and wait until it dries, because clearly that's what it needs. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. It was really fun to knit. And this yarn is the possum yarn I was telling you about. It's by Touch Yarns, and it's possum and it feels so soft and lovely. So anyway, that's what I knit, and now I had better draw winners. Well, actually I've already drawn winners. I used the random number generator on the internet, and I used it to pull out some winners. So there was 1 prize from the chatter thread and 1 prize for the finished objects thread, and I'm just going to tell you what they were. So the one from the chatter thread, I pulled it out and I pulled number 49, and let me just find it so that I can read you what it actually was. And number 49 was, oh, I hate it when the pictures load and then it goes back up again. was Simply Anchor, who wrote that she finished her Imagine When shawl and she cast on a second one. And she's got a picture there of her Imagine When shawl. And she did indeed finish a second one. So she is very well deserving of winning something. And for the chatter thread, my prize was going to be, what was it going to be? Oh, yes. So they're all in here. The prize was going to be these 2 balls, cakes of yak yarn, which is quite interesting yarn. And I bought this yarn at a craft show, the Rocking Yak, and the money went to benefit a community somewhere. So this is yours, Anchor, and also I'm going to give you a mini of this yarn that I dyed up the other week. I'll show you this now. It's pretty rad. Sorry about that sunlight. It's sparkly, and I'm calling it Magic colorway. So it's got pinks, purples, blues, and a darker blue. So I'll actually divide 5 minis and give one to everybody who wins. So number 2. Now these are 4 prizes for the finished objects thread, and I made sure that nobody won anything twice. So number 1, well, the first one, in no particular order, the number I drew was 34 in the finished objects thread. So just let me find this. It's the second last one, and it's by Pokdej. And I don't know who Pokdej is on Ravelry, but they made a pair of socks, and I think they're Hermione's Everyday Socks, which is a pattern that I really want to make. So it is, they don't have their name on here. So Pokdej, can you please get in touch with me? And what Pokdej is going to get, now what was it? It was obviously a mini from this. I'm going to give everyone a mini. And, oh yes, and this Knitter magazine, which is my favourite magazine. And I just bought 2 because I thought, why don't I give someone the opportunity to get a new favourite magazine? This is an English magazine, and I really like it. It's my favourite, and I have one too, and it always has a little extra thing. So I hope you like that Pokdej. So please get in touch with me. So now the next one, the next person that won was number 11. So let me find that. I'm sorry, it takes a little while to find everything. So number 11 has to load all the pictures, was Waipahu. Am I saying that right? I kind of don't think I am. Waipahu. And she's active on Ravelry and Instagram, and she knit a pair of socks, summer lace socks. And the lovely thing is that she has her doggy in the picture, and I love doggies. So, Waipahu, you get a mini skein from this. And now what was the other thing? I have to figure this out. I've got a lot of prizes. Okay, okay. Yes, it was, so you get a skein of this hand-dyed yarn by me and this lovely project bag from Knit and Stitch Bits in Tasmania. So firstly, thank you Knit and Stitch Bits for giving me this bag. And this skein I just dyed up the other day, and that's just a really pretty tonal red that I'm very pleased with. So you get that, Waipahu, so please get in touch with me. I think you do have your name on your Ravelry. Let me just check. Rhonda, of course it's Rhonda. I knew that. So the third person I pulled out of the finished objects thread was number 22. So I think that's on this same page, so I don't have to load it again. 21, 22. Here we go. Not Ariadne. Not Ariadne. And I think she put in quite a few pieces, which was really lovely. And she put in the Sail to France shawl, which I believe she said meant something particular to her in the chatter thread, so you might want to look that up. She had a nice story. And now what is all of this? Now, so what you get is a mini from this, and you also get a custom skein from me. So please get in touch with me and let me know what you would like me to dye up for you. I can do tonals or striping or variegated like this. So give me a buzz and let me know. And who knows, I might even make it one of my colorways if I like it. So the last person I drew was number 31. It's on the next page. And on the next page, 31. Here we are, and it's LME Cole, which is Linda, I believe, who did a pair of Doctor Who reverse polarity socks, which are cool striped cool striped socks. I think with a cable down the front. They're pretty cool. So you win a mini out of this and this skein that I dyed up the other day. And this was a bit of an experimental skein, but I'm super happy with how this turned out. So I've got pink, blue and purple down here. The purple and the blue aren't coming out particularly different on screen, but I'll move back a bit, getting a bit of sun on there. So there's that, which I'm very pleased with actually. I think it turned out really cool. And it was fun to dye up, so that's awesome. So that's all of the winners and everything. So I hope that everybody is pleased. I'm sorry to those who did not win anything. I always feel really bad. And I hope that those who did win like their presents. I always feel bad about that too for some reason. Even though I'm giving something away, I think, gosh, I hope that doesn't suck. None of it sucks, in my opinion, but you know, not everybody is the same. So anyway, that's a great skein, isn't it? So get in touch if you were one of the winners. I think you all know now that if you don't get in touch, I'll draw someone new in a couple of weeks, because I don't want to keep this stuff, and you know, if you don't get in touch, I know you haven't watched, which means you're not really engaged. But I'm pretty sure that those who won are pretty engaged. So that's lovely. So Anchor and Pockdedge and Waipahu and Not Ariadne and LME Cole, please get in touch ASAP for your presents. It's very exciting. So that was my neck to knees knit along. Yay! So let's see, what am I working on right now? Well, the things I finished for the knit along were the things I really wanted to get done, so I'm glad that they're done. But now, I started something new the other day. I don't know why, but it's in this, which is not really a project bag. It's a bag I got from Love Knitting or something. Anyway, it's just a hat. And there it is. It's a top-down hat. I'm inventing the pattern as I go along. Sorry about the light there. I'm inventing the pattern as I go along. I just cast on 4 stitches and I've been increasing a bunch as I go. And yeah, this yarn is alpaca silk. I can't remember the brand, Australian Alpaca Barn or something. And I used this to make my mum a shawl. And by shawl I mean scarf, a while ago, and I thought that she might like a hat to go with it. It's held double, so it's a little bit thicker than the scarf, but I mainly just want to get rid of it, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just using 3mm needles in Magic Loop, which seems to be working. The second thing I've been working on, and this is just since yesterday. Oh, shouldn't lean on a marimba. I am, is this gosh darn jumper, this lovely jumper that I'm knitting, and you may notice that now it has a sleeve. It didn't have a sleeve before, but now it has a sleeve, and I'm nearly done the sleeve, but I'm not very happy with this jumper. I'm going to put it on for you and you can see what you think. Attractive. It's always hard to put on these jumpers without stabbing myself in the face. Oh wait, I don't have to stab myself in the face. It's on circular needles now. It was on double pointed needles and that was a bit stabby. Anyway. Ah! Okay, so please excuse my undershirt. It's not really matching in any way. So here it is. My sleeve is obviously not long enough yet. This one isn't either. And you can see a massive dye line across here where I need to dye it. But yeah, I just don't like it very much, I've got to say. I don't love it. And it's for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it's a little bit short. It's not too short. There's my button. I think that could stretch out. Secondly, it's too tight across my buzzies. You know, a bit hard to breathe in this, but that could stretch out too. Thirdly, just look here. I don't like this business here, this stretching. What I think I might do is unpick the neckline. It's just crazy. Unpick the neckline and make this 3 stitches instead of 2, because then I just think it won't pull as much. What else don't I like about this jumper? The neckline is okay, that's okay. And, you know, the pattern is gorgeous, but it doesn't look quite so starkly different colours in real life. And I'm sure that it will be very warm, but it's just a drag. It's just a drag. Anyway, I'm going to finish it. If it kills me, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish this sleeve in the next 20 minutes. Maybe not. In the next hour or so. I've been warned that this is 100% alpaca. And I've been warned that alpaca does drop significantly. So I hope it does because, you know, a bit tight, a bit short. But that means that maybe I won't make the sleeve completely full length just in anticipation of it dropping. So frankly, I'm looking forward to it dropping. It's, you know, just a stupid thing. It's also kind of uncomfortable to have a needle under your armpit. We've all been there. Anyway, that's what I've been working on a bit. Excuse me. Classy. Where's my jumper gone? Okay, back. So that's a bit depressing. That's the fallow sweater that I've been working on, and it's out of a Knitter magazine. And there's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's very nice. It's just I probably chose the wrong size, and the whole thing has been a bit of a trial for me. So I've lost motivation on it, unfortunately. But I will finish it. The yarn is lovely. It's spun in a local mill from a local alpaca farm, so it's very nice. It's just hard work, and I don't want to do it anymore. So anyway, next on my needles is a shawl for my mum, and I wanted it to be out of this yarn because it was a long story. If you want to know the full story, go to the last episode. It was a silly story. Sorry about that light on my arm. but I wanted it to be like this shawl. So I bought an extra skein, and it came the other day, last time, and I showed you, but it was a little bit of a different colour to the yarn that I already had. Ooh, so I over dyed it, and I tried to match it to the correct colour, but don't know if you can see, but now it's slightly too dark. So how annoying. It's quite close. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to alternate the skeins. I don't think it's too bad. And what I thought I'd do is my own pattern, which is the Rose Garden shawl. And that has rows of garter stitch as like a, not a border, as a line between sections. So I thought if I do the garter section in the original colour, which I have less of, and this as the main body of the shawl, then I don't think you'd notice the difference, because it's like a raised section. It looks different anyway. Have a slightly different yarn, and I just don't think that you'd notice. It's pretty close. Anyway, so that's the plan. I have not started it or anything. Obviously, I haven't even wound the skein into a ball. So that's next in a while, after I finish this hat maybe. And I haven't got any socks on the needles right now, but I'm looking forward to. So, oh no, it's under my chair leg. So this is the yarn that I am going to take to Norway with me on the plane, probably. Oh, here's the other ball. Never mind. I have 2 skeins of sock yarn in here. This one is one I bought from Tumuck Valley Yarns. Sorry. And it's, I forget the colour way, but it's just a lovely variegated pink. And I want to make myself a pair of Hermione's Everyday Socks out of this. And I've wanted to for about 6 months or more. I've been waiting to do that, but I've been waiting to finish some stuff for other people first. So the first thing I'm going to make for someone else is Mum's shawl and that hat. Anyway, so my brother, who's now living with my parents, I think I might have told you, yeah, he's living with my parents and he's good, but he's been wearing the socks I made him non-stop, and I've made him 2 pairs, one for Christmas, which was just normal sock yarn, and one more recently, which was 5-ply thicker yarn, and he wants some more, and I asked him which ones he liked better, and he likes the thin ones, which is a bit annoying because that means I have to knit more. So here's what I thought. I thought I would make them out of this Mountain Designs, is that what it's called? Mountain Colours yarn, which my husband bought for me when he was in America recently. And I feel kind of bad not knitting it for myself because, you know, he bought it for me, but also I'm the one who's going to knit it, so I'll enjoy that. And my husband loves my brother as well, so honestly, we're keeping it in the family. So he bought me this. It's just, you know, normal sock yarn, superwash, machine wash cool, yeah. Mountain Tango is the colorway, and it's 90% superwash merino and 10% nylon. So it's a variegated yarn. It's not striped, but it's a really interesting colorway. It's got blues and purples and yellow, brown, green, different green. I can see a red in there. There's a pink up here somewhere. There it is. So it's an incredible yarn. So that's what I think I'll do with that. And because he asked for it, I mean, I can't not. I really love my family. I really love my brother and my parents and my husband so much. And the fact that they wear their socks and they want more is just all the motivation I need to knit some more for them. I just feel so great when I see them using and loving something that I've made for them. It's just the best feeling, and that's why I want to do that, and that's why I haven't knit myself anything for so long. Although I'm working on, I suppose I knit myself a shawl, sort of. So that's another thing I want to do. You see what else is in my bag of wool that I'm taking to Norway. Yes. So you may recall I'm using my marimba as a table. It's not best practice. So you might remember that when my husband bought me this yarn, he also bought me this, which is Bar Savannah in the Cinnamon Dolce colorway. And it's a superwash. No, it's not. It is MCN, Merino Cashmere Nylon blend yarn in this lovely, Cinnamon Dolce colorway. And I thought, well, I would really like to make a shawl out of this. But I have also recently discovered that I like big shawls. So I bought myself 2 contrasting colours, and I'm just wondering what you think of this. I'll just arrange them. What do you think of these 3 colours together? Do you think that's nice? It's like a, I'll hide my nails. It's like a light mint green, the brown and the cream. What do you think? I don't know if I've done the right thing here. Yeah, this is good coming from a yarn dyer. I'm bad at colour combinations. I go with what I know, and what I know is blue, white and pink. That's blue and brown and white. Yeah, I go with what I know. White and blue and blue. It's, So when I was given a brown, I didn't quite know what to do with it. So what do you think of that colour combination? Yeah. Also, I don't know what shawl to knit with it because I like triangular shawls. And I'll show you why I like triangular shawls. It's because I like to wear shawls like this. And this way, I just put it on really in a hurry, but this way, you can still see the lovely point. You can see the lace, right? With a crescent shawl, if you put it on like that, it kind of gets bunched up because it's this kind of shape. It gets bunched up and you can't really see any lace. And I mean, sure you can wear it in some other way, but that's how I like to wear my shawls. I like triangular shawls. And I'm just trying to find a nice pattern that would suit those 3 colours. I have 100 grams of the brown and 50 grams of the white and blue. So if you have any suggestions, I would super duper love to hear it. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I'm knitting and planning to knit right now. It's all getting a little bit crazy on my end. As I mentioned, I'm moving to Norway. Let me move over a bit. Yeah, that helps. I'm actually moving in a month. What's the date? I'm moving in a month and a day. That's our flight is on the 3rd of August. So that's a bit scary. We just had a guy come and give us a quote about moving our instruments because we want to take them with us. And we're just starting to think about packing and getting rid of stuff. I just looked at my sewing machine in the video. I need to get rid of it. I just bought myself a really big suitcase, which should fit most of the stuff I want to take on the plane. We're not taking, obviously, everything on the plane. We're getting a ship to take the rest of our stuff, and that takes 10 to 12 weeks to get there. So I need to take enough stuff to live with, but yeah, enough stuff to live with, and I'll ship the rest or it can stay here. And we need to get out of our house at some point. And my friend is getting married on the 30th of July in Sydney. So it's all just crazy. So um, yeah, we're starting to get a little bit tetchy about it. Um, but we'll be okay. I'm starting to look forward to the move and to living in Oslo. I think it'll be lovely there. And yeah, so I'm starting to think about what to knit on the plane because the plane is basically 24 hours. um, so I'm trying to think what would be good. I don't, like I've said before, if I am anxious, I can't knit socks or I can't knit on metal needles, especially very little metal needles. So I don't think I'll take my Addy 2.25mm needles on the plane if I'm knitting socks. I think I'll take some Knit Picks ones. You don't need to know that. I'm sorry. Um, but maybe I'll knit my... maybe I won't. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll dye up something for myself to knit socks with. Oh, I've got some socks. I'll think about it. Anyway, so that's all a bit mad right now. I'm just getting things done slowly, and I'm also meeting a lot of people for coffee and stuff like that. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I finished the yoga socks that I made for my yoga teacher, and I gave them to her, and she was very happy. So that's nice, isn't it? It was a pattern which, it's on my Ravelry page, so you can have a look, but I just modified it totally. So I think the pattern had you use larger needles and not cast on as many stitches, but I just used my normal sock needles and I cast on 60 stitches and I worked in 3x3 rib the whole way. So yeah, that was really fun. And I have a skein left, so I thought I might make myself some as well. Maybe I could do that on the plane. I don't know. So that's my status, really. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. Oh, I had a question from the Ask Me Anything thread, and it was, I can look at this actually. Oh yes. Oh, she asked about possum yarn. Does it feel like knitting with merino? Is it slippery? And does the finish look different? Is there a halo? So, oh, I'm wearing it. So there is a bit of a halo. I think the possum yarn has a, possum fibre has a very short staple length. So it does have a halo. I haven't experienced this pilling yet, so that's interesting, but there is definitely a halo. Now, keeping in mind that this is a possum blend, so it's got silk and merino in there as well. So I think the silk probably keeps it really strong, so that I think if it didn't have the silk, it would not be very strong. I think it might break. And the merino gives it some heft. But it is does have a halo. It's mostly soft, and it seems to have a lot of volume without being very dense. So it's a kind of a floofy kind of yarn, and it feels a bit like knitting with merino, but it's much squishier. I hate to jump on the squishy bandwagon, but there it is. It's kind of squishier, and it's not slippery at all. It's just the best. I really love this yarn. So I hope that the yarn I dyed up hasn't been affected by the dye, except for the colour. I obviously want it to be coloured differently. My goodness, I think this is still wet. It takes forever to dry things at the moment. Yeah, it's still wet because it's winter. Yeah. So that's to answer your question. It's very fluffy. It's got a halo and it's not very dense. I feel like the halo has a few different colours in it. Like we've got some black fibres in here, which is interesting. Obviously this is dyed, but it's got some black fibres in there, so that might make a difference to the overall colour. Lovely. So that's to answer your question about possum yarn. So in the next week, I've got a few things to do, not too much, because I'm not teaching anymore. And it would be holidays now anyway, even if I was still teaching. So we've got to do a lot of packing up, getting ready for the move, and getting rid of stuff. We're not taking any furniture with us on the move, so we're not taking, whoops, this desk. So I have to get rid of that. The sewing machine is going to my mum. The pin board might go back to my parents' house. The marimba is going to get on the boat, get packed up and get taken on the boat. And things like this are coming with me on the plane. So I need to sort out what is going in the bin, what is going to friends or family, what's going on the boat, what's coming on the plane. Was that it? Yeah. So that's what I need to organise in the next few weeks. We're also going to Brisbane overnight in a couple of weeks for our percussion conference, which should be fun and should be a nice welcome distraction from all of the nonsense here. And then I've got my friend's wedding, and as you know, I made her this blanket, as I showed you before. It's all folded up, ready to go. You know, I washed it and I washed it and I rinsed it about 4 times and it still smells like sheep. It smells quite badly of sheep, and I think I need to wash it again. But it is so cold at the moment that I don't want to have to lay it out to dry again, because it just won't dry. It even smells as bad as it was before. I don't know how it smells as bad, but it smells as bad. So maybe if I hang it out to air, maybe some of the smell would go away. I might hang it over the banister and see if we can get it to air out a bit. It's a very nice blanket, and it makes me sort of want to knit one for us as well, because it is just beautiful. And I hope she appreciates it. I think she will, because she appreciated the shawl I made her so much. She pulled it out and she said, "This is the most beautiful thing I own," which was just so nice to hear. And she was sort of asking, "Oh, how do I wear it? What do I do with it? How do I wash it?" and everything. And, you know, it's superwash wool and silk, so it's not fragile. It's not delicate. It's probably one of the stronger blends. I think silk adds a lot of strength to yarn. So it's not delicate, but she was treating it like it was made of spun gold. So it was really nice. Yeah, so that's my status. Oh, I forgot to tell you a few things. So last weekend, a week ago, we had my church's arts and crafts show, our midwinter arts and crafts show. And it's annual. It happens every year in the last weekend of June, last full weekend of June. And it runs from the Friday to the Sunday, so 3 days over the weekend. And crafters and artists and jam makers from across the region put in their artworks, and we sell them for them. And everything has to be coded. So I put in some of my yarn, and this is what we code things like. You have a 3-letter code. Mine is LOL because I chose it when I was about 17. And it says 17. So you have a 3-letter code and then your number. You number each item. So this one was 17. It didn't sell. And then on the other side, I put the price. So $12 for this 50 gram skein. And I also had my card and a label on it. And what happens then, people go around, they browse, they pick up their things, and then they go to buy them. And the person at the desk writes down the code and the price. And then we have a computer system that has all the items listed in it. So the person at the computer writes in the code from the receipt, LOL17, and it comes up with what it was. And that way, every person can come back in, get a printout of what they sold because we put it through the computer system, check off all of their stuff, and then get a check. So I put in quite a lot of yarn and I did pretty well actually. I didn't do as well as I would online because the committee took a 20% commission and that all went to charity. So everyone knew that when they put stuff in, so they put up their prices a little bit. And I think this year we raised, I'm on the committee, and I think this year we raised $6,000 or $7,000 for charity. So that means that the total amount sold was 5 times that because that's 20%. And we just give that all to charity. So the church doesn't keep any. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with that. And the people who put in all of their things were really happy as well because they got some money. And a lot of these people put in things for so cheap. It's just unbelievable. But they get snapped up, they get bought, and of course I always buy jam and earrings or whatever. And it was just lovely. It's always lovely. My favourite time of year. And I just think that churches are so valuable in the community and they do a lot that people don't see. And a lot of my friends, because I'm kind of young to be a church person, a lot of my friends are a bit snooty about churches and they say, oh, those Christians, they are bad. I don't know. But I mean, everyone at my church is a kind person who does a lot for the world. And I just think it's a really valuable thing to have. And not only that, they don't just do outreach for the world, but I think churches, they provide a social environment for people to go to and be cared for. So a lot of people who go to church, maybe they don't have friends or family around them, and they get taken care of when they're in a church. They have friends there who check up on them and make sure they're okay and bring around casseroles if they're sick. So I think that's really valuable too. And that's my little soapbox, and I'll get down now. But it was a lovely show. I just enjoy it so much. And a few of my friends did come. My lovely friend Andrea came. Andrea from the Wonderwool podcast. We miss your podcast, Andrea. We hope you bring it back soon. Yeah, so it was lovely to see her and a few other friends as well. Next thing for us is that we're doing a concert. It's like a farewell concert for us on the 17th of July. So that's 2 weeks from tomorrow. And that'll be it, and then we'll go away. So that's all very exciting. And I think that now is all I have to say to you. So thank you very much for listening and for my little rant at the end especially. Yeah, next time I see you we might have a new government. Fingers crossed. And I'll talk to you then. Bye!